Evening, everybody, and how are we all doing today? It is Sunday, the 7th of July, 2024. It's time for our usual Veg Army gathering. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you've had a great week. We'll get into the comments in just a moment. Slightly different setup tonight. We are joined by members of the Hike Squad. This is a bit of a fundraising episode, shall we say. We're trying to get some money, but not for me. We'll bring on. We've got a couple of people waiting in the green room. We'll bring them on, and they can tell you all about it. So first of all, we've got one of the Bearded Growers radio show, JJ. JJ, how you doing, buddy?
How are you, mate? You all right?
I'm very well, thank you.
Lovely
We've also got. Thank you so much. We've also got Lottie Time from Instagram joining us as well. Hello, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. You all right?
Yeah, very well, thank you. At the moment, that's all we've got. Lee has texted me to say he's going to be about 15 minutes late, which is typical for Lee. Standard, absolutely. But this gives me a chance, actually, because JJ, I think this was yours and your radio partner's inception idea. What's the background behind this?
Yeah, so we've done Bearded Growers now for 4 years, so that's our fourth season, and every year we've done a fundraising challenge. Now, the first few were for Green Fingers charity, done some amazing stuff for them. So we hiked Penny Fan in absolutely horrendous conditions when it should have been beautifully sunny. That was hard and very horrific. And last year, Bish and Ben, unfortunately, I couldn't join them because I had a medical issue, couldn't do it, but they hiked end to end of Malvern. Now, Malvern looks pretty, but end to end is about 10 miles. And if you get lost like they did twice, they did 14 miles.
Excellent.
Yeah, so we've always tried to do something and give something back effectively to the gardening community, and we see that gardening community growing by getting more and more children involved. So this is what we've always tailored it to. So Green Fingers was obviously very much tailored towards hospice care and end of life care, and those hospices need an outdoor space effectively. So they do great things. They fund gardens and garden projects in the hospices, and it's wonderful. We've gone on a little bit of a different tangent this year, and we've kind of set ourselves up to raise our own funds for our own charity initiative, which is the School Garden Success Plan, which obviously Lee is very, very much involved with, being Mr. School Garden Success.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
So
hopefully
the aim is to raise enough money to get the School Garden Success Plan into a minimum of 5 primary schools.
Right, excellent. 5 primary schools.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. We've just had somebody else join in. We got Ben here. From Hey. So the aim is to get this into 5 primary schools. Let's give Lottie Time a bit of chance to talk as well. How do you fit into this?
I got tortured and forced to join the squad. Is what happened. He can't hear again, can he?
Probably not.
No. I went down to see the boys in the studio, and they just sprung it to me live on radio and asked if I'd like to join their hike squad. So I wasn't going to say no.
Hang on, I've got to interject here. After we finished, the lads finished Malvern last year,
Yeah, I did.
You said, if you do one next year, I'm in. So we've got very long memories. So you were in. You had no choice.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I did say that, to be fair. But yeah, I had no idea. I just was in the studio having a little chat, and then the boys just sprung it on me. So I said yes. And
they have a habit of doing that, don't they?
Since.
Yeah, we find the best way to get people in is to just do it when it's live. Because if they say no, they look mean.
Yeah,
definitely. And then Ben on plot 27B Bristol, he's also joined. Do you fit into this? Is this the same sort of story as Lottie, or have you got your own story to share?
I just do as I'm told. You think I get a choice in this?
Ben does our weather reports every week. So we do a feature called One Town Weather, and Ben is the One Town Weather man. So effectively, he's under our employ, and he has to do as he's told, or he loses his job.
Excellent. Well, let's just quickly go through some of the comments that I can see coming in, because I normally go through the comments right at the beginning. So, first of all, Adrian is there saying hello to Richard and all. Good, hello, Adrian. We have got Ballycillian Allotment Man saying good evening to you. Kate is there. Good evening, Veg Army. Good evening to you. Hargrave Gas. Evening all. Hope you've had a great week. Good evening to you. Jenny Hullett, hello everyone. I hope you are well. Good evening to you. Lovely to see you. Seed to Table Plot 13. Evening all. Good evening to you. Stuart Jackson, evening Richard and Veg Army. A big welcome to the Bearded Growers team. There we go. You get a mention.
We do love action, Jackson.
Oh, we do, don't we? Turbo Extreme says, good evening, Veg Podcasters. Good evening to you. Digwell, hi all. Hope you are all drier than me. Heavy showers for 2 days now. Well, it's been pretty dry where I've been, but we've had the odd shower and wind more than anything.
A little quick one for you there, Richard. I got back from work on Friday. Everything looked a little bit dry, so I got the hose out to get everything in good water. As soon as I finished, the heavens opened, didn't stop raining until Saturday afternoon.
You should have got the hose out. It would have happened anyway. Ballycillian says he got soaked today as well. Nigel says Lee time. When he gets here.
Almost.
Stuart Jackson had no rain this afternoon, so that was good. Kate says, yay, the Bearded Growers. Love you guys.
Somebody has to.
But he has to. Rob says, good evening all. Good evening to you. Digwell saying there's a bit of an echo. I'm not sure where that's coming from. I've checked my settings.
Probably me.
We'll play with it as long as it's not too annoying. Idaho says, hello all. Good evening to you all the way in America. We have got absolutely bloody amazing from Jenny. Oh, these comments are coming in thick and fast. Nigel remembers the 24-hour marathon veg grower podcast we did back in 2020. We haven't done anything since. We keep saying Lee and I should do something like that, but
see, yeah, we've got the access to the studio at Cotswolds Radio. We've been thinking the same thing.
Yes.
What if we did a 24-hour live simulcast broadcast from
it was
Cotswolds
hard work.
Radio?
It was hard work, but well worth it. I can't
Try
say.
doing it in the most haunted building in the UK.
Excellent. Kate says raising money to get kids growing is an incredible thing to do. Completely agree. We need more of it. Absolutely. Stuart Jackson asks, are you going to put a link in the show notes so we can donate? There is a link gone up in the comments and also in the description for this as well, if anybody wants to put it up. I will keep putting the link up every now and then to try and donate, which actually is probably a good point to talk about how people can donate and what can they get from it.
Okay, so for people to easiest way to find the link, we've got the link on our link tree on Instagram, so it's @bearded.growers. Check out our profile. We've got pinned posts which give you the link. It's also on our bio. The link's in our bio, which takes you to our link tree. The link is also on there. Ben's done exactly the same, so you can go on Ben's link tree and get the link on there as well. Or you can, even easier than that, go on Just Giving and just search for Bearded Growers. You will find it. There's only us there. Now, I've got to just throw this out there, and I don't want to do the people at Just Giving a disservice, but because we're not a registered charity, this is done as a crowdfunder. All right. So on those, they like to take an admin fee for your donations. It's completely optional, but it doesn't look as though it is. It looks as though they're compulsory. You can change that setting and give them nothing.
Yeah, but what can actually, we've just had the another person join in. So late as always.
Oh, hey. I'm so sorry. Sundays, man. Sundays. Sunday blooming Sundays.
Of course, any excuse.
Yeah.
No,
hello, everyone.
How you doing, mate?
I'm good. Running around doing some gardening for once.
Yeah. So we're talking about this hike up. But first of all, we're just talking about the fundraising element because it's fundraising. It's not a raffle. We've got to be very clear on that as well.
Yes. It's not a raffle.
It's not a raffle, but there are prizes available for people to be entered in the prize draw.
There are a little bit of an incentive for you. So every pound you donate, you will get a prize draw number, and we're doing a prize draw on the 29th of July. We've sold just over 500 tickets at the moment, which is fab. So the raffle alone has pretty much funded one School Garden Success Plan. We want it to do more than that. We want it to do 2 or 3. So we've got 3 weeks left of the prize draw being available. If you want something for donating, this is the only place you actually got a chance of winning something for donating to a charity fundraiser.
What are the prizes that they could win?
Wow. Right. There are over 50 prizes. So you've dropped it on me. But I mean, the headline ones realistically.
I've got a list.
Oh, there you go. Kerry has a list.
I'm organised.
Superb. That is what you call preparation.
I don't have them all, though. You do have the complete list.
Yeah. I've got Sunday.
I think one of the best prizes we've got is a Charles Dowding one-day course voucher. I think that's like an amazing prize to grab. We've got Adam Frost signed book. Plant Grow are offering a pallet of 50-litre compost bags and feed. Veg Truck, a small grey wash veg truck. Cauliflowers has joined in. She's doing a 12-month subscription and kids seed tin. We've got L&G with the Court and Bug Hotel. And there's a few of us that have got this hotel, actually. You can see it on a few of our grams. Tomato Revolutions, £50 seed bundle. There's lots of signed books, actually, isn't there? There's quite a list, isn't there, Jay?
There's a library of signed books.
There's loads of signed books. Empathy Root Grow, feed and seed bundle. There's the Dyson 50% voucher, which Bish is so proud of. He's loving that, isn't he?
I mean, potentially that is the most expensive prize in the giveaway.
It's a good one if you're in need of a new Hoover or a nice hairdryer, or as summer's
I don't think Dyson sell Hoovers though. They might not like that.
So basically, there's lots of prizes up for grabs that anybody entering.
There's loads. That's just a few.
Yeah.
They're not all gardening prizes either. So I mean, it's tailored for everybody to join. There are loads and loads and loads of prizes. So the full list is out there. We will share it again so people can see what the options are.
Absolutely fantastic. So let's quickly check on the comments. Anybody got any questions that they want to ask? Then please do enter it in the comments. Over on Instagram, Jenny Red in the Garden says, "Hello everyone, amazing project." Thank you very much, Jenny. We've got Allotted Chef or Nathan says, "Evening all, good evening to you." Turbo Stoom says, "I'm just back from 5 days of wind and rain in Scotland. Back to sunny Blighty." Rob's Allotment Gardening says, my browser won't let me donate." Oh, that's interesting. It could be a pop-up blocker or something. Possibly. Digwell says, "My card won't." Yeah, I know that feeling as well. But just think of those prizes, plus helping all those kids as well. Stuart Jackson says, "Timekeeping, Lee." And Rob says, "We must be dodgy." Oh, that's to Digwell. So Lee, we're going to pull this up. Why were you late tonight?
I had a good reason, actually. As I think about it in my head, it's not so much of a good reason, but I was planting a rose bush. Out loud, that actually doesn't sound like a very good reason.
No, sounds like poor time
it was a bit of an emergency because we had this rose bush, and I was like, I'm not going to apply it this week. If not, it's just going to sit there and slowly die. So I need to do it now, basically. And so it's a long story. I'd rather tell you later on if I'm...
Fair enough. Well,
so I apologise. I'm sorry.
Fair enough. Now, for this garden success plan that we want to get into the schools, this is your creation, Lee, isn't it? What's inside each pack that a school could potentially get?
Yeah. So basically, what I found was that the teachers need a load of support to get their children gardening, and so what we've put together is a package. One of your viewers, Mr. Stuart Jackson's got one actually, but it's basically a veg truck, an amazing classic veg truck And then it comes with soil, it comes with seeds, it comes with a self-waterer, which is so important, especially over the summer holidays, which seems to be obviously one of those sticking points with schools because they're away for 6 weeks. So how do we make sure our plants are watered? So what we do is we have a self-watering little system in there, which will at least get you through a week, which means the caretaker can come in, top him up, or a teacher can come in, just top him up throughout the 6 weeks holiday, and hopefully when children come back in September, they've got loads of amazing vegetables that they can eat and enjoy. So we've got a self-water part of it, the soil, the raised bed. We've got seeds, which is obviously very, very important to have the seeds involved in it, which are all like vegetables that are grown to make a pizza, which is very exciting. And we could very soon have Jamie Oliver making that pizza on part of the plan as well, which is quite cool. I know. And then I tell you I'm friends with Jamie Oliver. And then as part of all of that package, it's really easy to throw equipment at schools, but we need to have the lessons and the teacher support. So we have some amazing lessons throughout the entire year that they can use. And then we have the teacher support, which means we've got a little tiny team that look after all the teachers off-site. And then if they've got any questions at the end of the day, we don't want teachers to be sitting marking loads of work till 10 o'clock at night and then have to go and Google and search up on the RHS website, which is a minefield of information. We don't want them to spend time having to do that. So we've got a little team that can answer their questions for them, basically, and make sure that they can continue their gardening journey, which is what it's all about.
Yeah, fantastic. A couple of comments have came in. So Kate says, I managed to donate okay using a link via my phone's Safari browser, if that's any use to anybody. I've popped the link up.
I've just seen that donation come in, Kate, and everybody else. If you donate, please DM us on Instagram at bearded.growers. Let us know you've donated. We'll check the Just Giving to confirm you've donated, and then we'll get you your prize draw numbers over, so you know that you are definitely entered into the draw. If not, we don't know how to contact people, which is a little bit difficult to try and give prizes to people.
Yeah, it's difficult sometimes trying to give prizes to people. You won't believe how many troubles I get sometimes. Digwell says you need to book early to get the train up to Snowden with a laughing emoji. He's figured us out. And,
unfortunately, we're going up a different route, so no train for us.
No, we're going. What route are we going up?
So we are doing the Ranger Trail, which is one of the oldest ones to get up Snowden. It's one of the quieter ones as well. We've done that because Bish does not mix well with people, so we have to keep him away from the general public. So yeah, it should get nice and quiet. It does meet up with the Lamberries Pass about 2/3 of the way up. So we will get to interact with the general public. Could be a problem.
And how long in terms of mileage is this walk?
Mileage wise, I don't know, but time wise,
It's 8 miles.
Is it 8 miles? Up and down, or just up and down?
I think up and down.
Oh, so 8 miles. Okay, that's all right. We can do that. Time wise, I think we're looking around about 6 to 7 hours. Depends how long we have fun at the top for. Because there's a cap.
I'm still here. I've just, for some reason, my camera just stopped working again.
Almost better.
It's has a habit of doing this lately. I can't figure out why. There we go.
Hey.
Yeah. Digwell says it's 4 miles each way.
Okay.
I'm sure Digwell. Yeah, I'm sure Digwell's walked it many times in his long career. Rob says not on Instagram anymore. Oh,
okay. There's a solution to that too. You can email us at beardedgrowers@gmail.co.uk.
There we go.
Let us know
another way around that.
2 ways of doing it. Or, if I'm honest, if you got contact details for any of the team, let them know and they can pass it on to me and I'll pass your numbers on.
Yeah, or contact me and I'll let them know as well, is another way around it. Stuart Jackson says, if you are involved with the school, the gardening success plan is a no-brainer. It's so easy, even I can use it.
That's true. Stuart Jackson's a legend on the school garden success side. Stuart Jackson was actually a really big part of us putting it together as well, because he was really really helpful in some of the lessons that we sort of put out there.
Yeah, I guess we should explain, because I know Stuart Jackson is in here pretty much every week, but Stuart actually teaches in a forest school. And I know when Lee was developing his success plan, he called upon Stuart's expertise quite a bit to work out the actual way it is to working with children. Because it's very different having your own child and having a classroom of children. I don't know how anybody can deal with a classroom of children, to be honest.
So one of the things that happened when we first made School Gun successful is we did a whole year of trialing it, which Stuart's school was part of. And then afterwards, I sat down on the phone with Stuart, and he told me what he thought about it, and it made me change it up a little bit, which was really good. It's always good to get information on the ground.
Yeah, excellent. Kate says, I really wish they taught gardening when I was in school.
I think we can all echo that, to be honest.
Yeah, no, totally. And then Kate also says, bonus points if you spot any wild edibles on the way up or down the mountain.
Interestingly enough, after the draw closes for the prizes, because we're drawing on the 29th of July, to give you a further incentive to donate, we are asking people to pay for us to do challenges. So, I mean, that sounds like a challenge for one of the team to find some wild edibles on the way up.
There we go.
God, someone's dropped a Mars bar. Oh, I'm going to eat it.
There's always one, isn't there? There's always one. That's after the chocolate. But the challenges, I think, is quite a good idea, especially if they are gardening-related challenges that we can do up and down the mountain as well. I should say, I'm actually joining them on this walk. I haven't said that yet. I'm actually joining everyone on this walk. There will be a show afterwards, so don't worry, you won't be missing out the Sunday show. Rob says, my school showed us how to grow weeds. I've got.
I don't think that's what common says, but
I think that's a different weed.
Oh yeah, I didn't realise that.
Thanks, Rob.
I was a bit slow on that one, but yeah. But I've got to admit, that's a kind of an interesting point. I was lucky enough; we had one teacher at our school that did teach us gardening, and if it wasn't for her, I mean, I was still into my gardening anyway, but if it wasn't for her, right throughout my entire school period, there was nobody who did any gardening. And she was only interested in it because she did it herself. How many in this group here tonight did any gardening at school?
Absolutely nothing. I mean, there'd be occasions where you'd sort of do a science experiment to grow a bean or something just to see how a seed germinates and whatnot. But other than that, absolutely nothing at mine.
Yeah. And this is what I find interesting, that the four of you didn't do anything in school, and then you've gone on, you've got a radio show, you've got Instagrams, you've got Ben did a garden at Gardener's World recently, and Lee's just Lee, you know, we don't worry so much about what he does. He's too well known these days. But no, you know, no gardening at school, and you still found your feet going into gardening.
Yeah, I mean, mine came from my parents. My parents have always been keen gardeners. And then I think that stems from like grandparents. My granddad used to be a landscape gardener, and my granny and granddad had an allotment garden. He used to keep ferrets and used to go out hunting rabbits and things. And as a kid, I would go into his garden with him, and we'd pick onions and beans and potatoes, and we'd bring those home. So that's where how I learned about gardening and where that came from was grandparents and parents for me.
Yeah,
mine was definitely my parents. My dad had an allotment, so literally when he was off, it was get over the allotment, try and be forced to help. Something must have rubbed off because I never seemed to enjoy it, but it definitely did something. And then, to be fair, flowers wise, I've got to give the credit to my auntie, because she grew amazing flowers and then drew them as well. So if she wasn't in the garden, she was drawing the flowers, and her violas and pansies were beautiful, and they really rubbed off on me. And they're absolutely one of my favourites in the garden.
Fantastic. Ben, what about your story of gardening? Where did you start? Or was he
I
frozen?
think he's frozen. I think he's frozen in time.
Thinking.
Oh,
there was a bit of movement there. Can he hear us? No. Okay.
There's always tech issues.
there's always he
is.
tries to sit in the greenhouse, looking all gardeny. Look,
You're right, Ben.
dial-up modems and outside does not work.
So unhappy.
Can you hear
about
me
this
yet?
thing. Oh,
Yeah, we just heard you there. Yes.
Apollo 13 has come round the back of the moon.
Am I back? Am I
You're back.
back?
Hey. Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Am I back or not?
I'm not sure you've ever
Wait. So brilliant. It's because I'm outside and my kids are in there, aren't they? That's why I come out here.
All right.
But I was brought up on a small holding in the New Forest, so although we didn't learn it in school, I pretty much did more of that than I did schoolwork, to be honest.
Now that's interesting because a lot of my audience are into their vegetable gardening, and I wonder how many people here would love to run a small holding or work on a small holding. I'm going to throw that out as a question to everybody in the audience: who would love to have a small holding or work on a small holding? I can't get a H out tonight.
Holding.
Holding
Yeah.
to do. Close enough.
Holding. Let's have a quick look in the comments while some people come up with their thoughts on that question. Where were we?
Oh,
Digwell said it's classed as a hard walk with gravel and loose stones and some rocky parts. No hand scrambling low, awkward if cloudy, and easy to get lost. Can get very windy. Well, that's like this weekend then.
Yeah.
Digwell says gardening was for the ones not taking exams in my school. That was actually something we've discussed before. It's the ones that, or the kids that did gardening at school were the ones expected not to do well in the exams or after school, which I think is so wrong. I really do think that is wrong.
We've had when we've spoken to Adam Frost, that is literally how he got into gardening. He failed at school, they'd given up on him pretty much, and off he went. He went out doing landscape gardening with the council.
And look where he's achieved now.
And look what he's achieved now, exactly right.
Yeah. Kate is asking what school did Rob go to, getting tips on how to grow weed. It was approved by the Queen, he says. Give you a clue, it ends with high.
Wow, this is dangerous going through this.
Yeah, it is a little dangerous, but lots of laughter's coming out of it. Digwa says, my school was special. It said so on the front of the coach. Stuart Jackson says, gardening in schools is only as good as the lead teacher. Also, the curriculum is so full, I'm lucky because our head is forward thinking. It's about well-being for her, which is a good point about gardening, isn't it? It's all about well-being.
Oh, massively. I think gardening is really good for like teaching children patience as well. I think we've talked about this before, haven't we? But patience is a really big thing at teachers, and also a sense of responsibility, which I think is a little bit missing at the moment with at that generation. So yeah, there's lots of different positives from it.
Yeah, definitely. Digwell is asking of any chance of some links to your pages. So I haven't got them written up in advance, but if we'll take it in turns. So JJ, what's your Instagram or whatever page you're on?
Instagram is @bearded.growers, Facebook is @beardedgrowers, and YouTube, which is brand new, so there's not much on there, is @beardedgrowers as well.
Lottie
Time is, are you just on Instagram if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, just on Instagram, which is @Lottie_time_.
Yep. Lee, just search for Skinny Jean Gardener and he'll pop up.
Well, generally, if you just search legend, it does come up. But it's
Jamie Oliver's mate, anything like that. Yeah. Find him.
And Ben, if you can hear us, what's your channels?
I can hear you if you can still hear me. Mine's plot 27B Bristol, and that's over on. You can't hear me again, can you?
We seem to be having
Yeah,
some,
yeah, we can hear you.
some technical difficulties here, Ben. We
You hear me
can't
now?
quite hear you, mate. Can't quite hear you.
Yes, we can hear you, Ben. Crack
We
on.
can hear you.
My
Can hear
God,
you.
isn't he?
Good. So mine's Plot 27B Bristol, and that's on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram.
Fantastic, fantastic. Stuart Jackson says it's Ben a cardboard cutout. No, he's there. He's actually real. It's just
Bit rude.
it's just a choice of technical issues. We all go through this. Stuart Jackson said, I would have done a small holding about 20 years ago. Yeah, a lot of work, I can imagine, on one of those. It's hard enough looking after an allotment, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's on the move. Jenny says, Digwell, I can post the accounts on the group page after. Thank you, Jenny. That would be great. That's in, I know not everybody's in the Facebook group, but we can put it in the Facebook group for anybody who is there. Maybe add them to the comments for non-Facebook users, another option as well. Legend or legend, says Digwell.
Both.
Both. Jenny says they've beaten me to it. Well, there we go. We got there in France. Over on Instagram, Keith Morgan has joined. Welcome along, Keith Morgan. Right, one thing that we like to do on this show is we do a weekly sew-along. And this week, we were sowing some of our winter cabbage. So it's time to show that up. It gives everyone about a 3-minute break as well. Let's get into it.
Cut to VT.
Okay, well, it's time for this week's sew-along. This week, you decided you wanted me to sow some winter cabbage. And to sow them, I'm using this, my Gralian Root Trainer. I filled it up with seed sowing compost, and I've just pierced some holes into the compost about 1 centimetre deep, into which we are going to drop some of the seeds. Just making sure it is correct here. It was a little difficult to get the depth on it. Now, the seeds that we are going to be sowing, as I said, they are a Savoy cabbage, a winter cabbage, and this particular variety is called Vertis 2. They're quite a nice small seed, so should be fairly easy to sow, and hopefully the seeds are going to come up any second now. There we go, there's the seeds. Now all we're going to do is take a single seed and just drop that into every single hole. Now we could broadcast sow them because they are quite small fiddly seeds, but I'm doing it this way because I'm just saving time in the long run. I hate pricking out, whereas sowing them in these root trainers just means I get a decent start on them. Now we're going to keep these inside my kitchen on the worktop because it's going to be a bit too hot in the greenhouse. Cabbage is of course a cool loving crop, and if too hot there's a chance it may not germinate. And we're going to keep these until they do germinate, which I reckon will be about 2 weeks time. We wait until they are growing on and the roots are coming up the bottom, and then we're going to pop each one out and pop them up into bigger plants. In the meantime, while these are continue to grow, we're going to prepare the ground down on the allotment or at home, wherever they're going to grow. Make sure it's weed free, plenty of organic matter added, and more importantly, lime added to adjust the pH, which is essential for all brassicas. If you cannot do anything else, add lime to the soil. Top tip. Then we just let these grow, keep them well watered. You really don't want them getting too hot either. Keep the soil moist at all times is the best way to stop this from happening. They should continue to grow on, keep them weed free as well. Don't need much in the way of feeding because they are high nitrogen crop, so chicken manure pellets or anything like that, but usually you find anything in the compost is going to be enough to keep them going. Wait for them to form some nice decent heads. You want the heads to be firm before you pick them, and once they are firm, that's when you know they are ready. Then just cut them off, leave the roots, leave the stalk and a few leaves in the ground, because what you can actually get is 4 smaller cabbages coming from the stalk later on. So it's well worth doing that to get more crops from one plant. These will probably produce early December, but they could be a little quicker than that, just to be warned. When it comes to winter crops, it's always worth sowing every few weeks some more crops. Right, with that, it is back to the studio as I pop the lid on and take things back inside. There we go. That is this week's Sew Along. Bit of a quick ending to that. I should have faded that out a bit more. Anybody got any tips on how to grow? Oh, hang on. Let me. He's disappeared. There he is.
Hey.
Anybody got any tips on how to grow winter cabbage that we can quickly throw in here at this point?
I've got to be honest. Growing winter veg really hasn't been something I've had much success with, and not something I've done very much of, because I'm very, very, very aware that I'm a fair weather gardener.
A lot of people say that, funnily enough.
Yeah. The one thing I have
saying that
noticed.
the other day.
Say that again, Lee.
I was saying that the other day, and sometimes I used to feel a little bit embarrassed about saying I'm a fair weather gardener, but now I sort of lean into it. Like, there's nothing wrong with it, right?
Absolutely nothing at all.
Nah.
The issue I did try it one year. I tried to grow myself some winter veg, and I got really, really ravaged when they were quite small by whitefly and really late pests, and they did no good at all. I've tried growing potatoes for Christmas dinner. They got blight because other people's potatoes have got blight and they hadn't got rid of them, so it spread quite quickly. So yeah, not much joy, if I'm honest, but it is something I would love to do.
A lot of people do have trouble with them, but I think it's like anything. We've just got to persist and practice and practice and practice. You'll get there in the end. Anybody else got any tips on winter cabbages, on growing winter cabbages?
Nope.
Oh, hang on. Ben's on mute. Sorry. Say that again. Oh, hang on. I can't unmute him. I can't unmute him.
As if he's not got enough issues. Now you've muted him.
I haven't muted him.
Are you on mute, Ben? We can't hear you,
Let me
Ben.
try something.
Now he thinks we're doing a bit. We're not doing a bit, Ben. We really can't hear you this time.
No, I'm
How's that?
clicking the button. That's it.
Hey! It went off then. So my dog's trying to attack me now as well. So yeah, protect it from the slugs is my main tip. No matter what you do, just really go hardcore, because it's bad enough this summer, let alone during a winter.
Yeah, definitely. And Kerry, any tips for yourself?
I'm not very good at growing over winter. I'm the same. But I suppose the pigeons might get hungry, so I would just think that they might be after it. So protection.
Yeah, good one. Lee, anything from you?
I don't grow cabbages. They're horrible.
I had a feeling you were going to say that. Jenny's putting all your links up in the chat so anybody can find you. Graham Arnold has joined, saying good evening, everyone. Hope you are well. Good evening to you. What else have we got? Stuart Jackson, are any of you doing training for this walk? Are you just going for it? Lee, oh, sorry. Well, I'll go to Lee first. Any training you're doing, Lee?
Well, we did a live not long ago, and I talked about my pretty disability, and then can't say the word, injury that I've got with my feet. I've got a bit of a problem with my feet, all right? And but the team will be happy
I can't keep
to know
them
that
out of the fridge.
You what?
I can't keep mine away from the fridge.
That's a good one. That took me a minute, sorry. I've got some new footwear now, so it's going to help me. And once my feet are working, I am going to start doing some serious training because yeah, I need to get walking. I've not done anything recently, so I need to actually do some long walks.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Ben? What are you doing to train for it?
I eat plenty of bacon and sausage sandwiches, to be fair, just to make sure I don't get hungry on the way up.
Got that covered.
Got that covered. Reserves. Kerry?
Do you know what? I was quite good in the beginning when we sort of first announced this, that we were doing this particular hike. And then it all got a little bit lax. But I do have my hike boots now. So I've got those, and I've got my hike socks. So I need to break my boots in. So I need to get back out, and I need to get those worn in, because otherwise, yeah, that's not going to be good, is it? But I'm more worried about I think we'll get up there okay. I'm worried about the burn as we come down, because actually walking downhill for a long period of time is a real like thigh burner, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know this is not really gardening related, but a top tip for coming down: make sure, if you don't already, trimmed your toenails and that your boots are a nice snug fit. What you don't want is your toes banging into your boots, and on the down route, that can be quite painful.
Yeah.
Can I just ask a question?
Go for it.
Are trainers okay? Because I'm borrowing. I thought you were going to say that. Has anyone ever done it in trainers before? Is this a?
So when I first got with Amanda, we went to Crete, and we came down a gorge in the mountain, which is a whole day's hike. Amanda took her old trainers that were about 15 years old at the time. And by the time she got halfway down, those trainers did not exist. They had obliterated into tiny little pieces.
Oh.
Decent pair of hiking boots is a must.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And I know it's tempting if you've got comfortable old ones to wear them, but Bish did exactly that when he did Malvern, and the sole fell off about 2/3 of the way through.
We had to sit down for a while he sorted his feet out.
Yeah, your feet are very, very important on it. It's not worth it. You've got some loose track to get up. It may be wet. So I would say a decent hiking shoe. I prefer a shoe to a boot, because a boot you can potentially go over and twist your ankle. And I'm not doing that because I'm not getting mountain rescued. I'm being very, very safe and very sensible.
Yeah. So Lee, you need to go get some decent walking shoes at the very least.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
And
I have actually. I've
in the
asked my dad if
comments,
I borrow his.
sticks as well. Hiking sticks,
yeah.
very, very good for coming down.
Yeah. Kitty Kate, it's John. Good evening. Sorry I'm late. Not a problem. What else have we got? Rebecca has also said, sorry I'm late. She's good. Welcome along. Lovely to see you.
Wasn't the latest.
It wasn't the latest, he says, because he was late. Digwell says, you can often do more harm than good by not being a fair weather gardener. Interesting point. I think I kind of agree with that. I kind of agree with that. I know that's going to be controversial, but I agree with what Digwell is saying there. Going on from there, I've done a few charity walks. My top tip for preventing blisters is double-layered socks. Good tip. Good tip.
I actually had to get some socks.
Yeah, you do. You're going to need a lot of things.
I don't own any proper socks.
You
It
need
sounds
to.
mental.
Digwell says, coming down is worse than going up. I bet a few of you will lose your toenails from poor footwear. True. Not me, though. I've got decent footwear.
I'll be honest with you, it's probably owe me. So,
while training for the Malvern walk, which I didn't end up doing, I did lose a toenail training, which was quite fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's not pleasant, is it, when that happens?
You know what? It was really weird. I was just giving myself a bit of a pedicure. And as I went to get that toenail, it just came off. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. Digwell says, not worth the risk in trainers. They have no side support. And Digwell being ex-military, he knows his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Jenny says, hiking sticks with spikes help with going downhill. Take some of the strain off your legs. I agree. I've got some hiking sticks, so I'm sorted. I might have enough if you need some, Lee.
I've got some. One thing I have got.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, I might have some spares then.
Okay.
You need decent walking shoes that fit properly, says Turbo Stream. Again, I totally agree. And file your route plan with someone. Well, we're filing it with you. You all know where we're going. When we're doing this walk, actually, we haven't shared that.
It's the 7th of September.
7th of September. So,
Yes.
7th of September, we are doing it. Digwell says, woolen socks only, not nylon. Some great advice coming out here.
I think a lot. Some of this down, really.
Or watch it back on the live, or watch it back on the replay, Lee.
Oh, well, I usually do, if I'm honest with you. Okay.
Yeah. Rebecca says, I've had some great news this week, Richard. After 2 years of waiting, I've finally been awarded my first allotment plot. It's in a very bad way, so I'm not being charged rent till next year. Fantastic. You know what? You're not the only person that's got a new allotment plot either, Rebecca, but that's fantastic news.
Top tip, Richard.
Tip.
If you keep it messy, means you won't have to pay next year either.
That's because they'll kick you off.
Yeah, there is that as well, yeah. Maybe don't listen to everything I say. Or anything.
No. Well, I do have a bit of a story I thought I might share with everyone, actually, allotment related as well. Lee, you know this, actually, because I texted you the other night about this.
Yeah.
So a few weeks ago, some of you might know, I had my raised bed stolen off my allotment, found on somebody else's plot, so I quickly took them back. Well, I cut the grass every Thursday down on my allotment, and I've got this area at the very top of my allotment that neighbours my neighbours, and they haven't been on their plot at all this year. The weeds are taller than me, especially the nettles. Well, when I was strimming away at my area, because weeds are coming into my bit, I found 2 large kitchen knives that weren't there last week. Have been basically, I think somebody tried to hide them very quickly in there. I found a third one yesterday in another area as well. Now, I was a bit unsure what to do. What do you do when you find some large kitchen knives that are clearly hidden? So I called the police, and they said, "Yep, can you hand them in to us at a police station?" Of course. Police station is always bloody closed, so I haven't been able to hand them in at all.
Letterbox.
Letterbox, yeah. There's no letterbox on them. They say they got an amnesty being outside, but who would? I mean, finding. I had to contact the council as well, and they're having a word with my neighbours about their plot through this as well. But who would expect to find a set of large kitchen knives on an allotment plot? But at the same time, it could also be a perfect hiding spot if you are doing something a bit naughty with it.
They could have been taken by a fox and dropped on your plot. They'll move anything about. Honestly, they've had cushions from my garden and just dropped them down by their set. They're just mad. They'll pick stuff up and just wander about with it and drop it down. They're just mental.
But how did the foxes get the knives in the first place?
They may have found them from the stash that they were already stashed in.
Wait. You're telling me that a fox got 3 different knives from wherever they got it from and brought them all to Richard's plot?
Maybe.
They set him up. That's what they were trying to do.
They're setting him up. The foxes are setting him up.
That's possible.
Or whoever stole the beds and has now subsequently had them stolen from him, going back to their rightful owner, he's trying to set Richard up for a murder.
See, you're all talking like this is weird. In Bristol, this is just normal on the allotments.
We know, that's why we don't come to Bristol, mate.
I mean, to be fair, when I got my allotment, started turning that over, I found a full greenhouse buried in the garden, in the plot.
Oh, yeah, that's like my neighbour's plot at the moment. 2 greenhouses buried.
They'd flat packed it and buried it. I'm like, what? And it was twin wall ply sheeting, like you've just used on your little roof, Lee. So I could have given you some of that for free. Got loads.
Maybe they thought it was going to decompose.
Right, let's go back to the comments quickly. Kate says,
I'm sorry.
I didn't either. Kate says, take some Compede blister plasters. They are brilliant. Yeah, we'll get a first aid kit to take with us. Digra says, my friend lost 3 toenails coming down Ben Nevis. Never seen such black toes. You're making this challenge sound harder and harder.
Did lose them. They were
Any positive comments come through? Or
Jenny says, I used to wear my old military socks. Super comfy and very supportive. Take spare socks in your bags. Yeah. Plenty of water as well, I'm taking. Digra says, love it, Lee. I may do the same. LOL. What's that? What was that?
God, what did I say?
Leave your plot uncultivated.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Stop it there.
Yeah. A lot of people saying hello to Idaho Garden Girls joined, and Digwell says, I had to book an appointment at my local police station to hand in a purse I found. Told them on the intercom, I'm not doing that. I'll leave it on your windowsill. Police car there in 5 minutes to take it. Yeah, I probably could do the same with these knives. Digwell says, where
emptied it first.
Oh. Yeah. Digwell says, "We're in Bristol, Ben. I'm in Dursley, up on the A38."
Southmead, but don't tell everybody.
Just announce it to the world, but don't tell anybody.
All right then.
Jenny says, "I had a friend who had a washing machine buried in her garden. The effort that went into that would have been easier to go to the tip."
It just doesn't make any sense.
Can I make an admission here?
You did it.
No, I didn't. No.
He wants his socks back.
Once upon a time, I don't know what mindset I was in, but I had some tyres in my garden that I was planting. And because I wanted to get rid of one, instead of taking it to the tip, I actually buried it. I know where I can see it. Oh, I can't see it. It's underground. I know where it is, though, underneath another tyre. So, as much as we think it's weird, I mean, actually, I don't understand what. Just because I did it doesn't mean it's not weird, does it? It's still weird. But there is a tyre underneath another planter that I buried.
Okay.
There is some weird stuff hidden in many allotments. I mean, I've dug up carpets and things, and the stuff I hate is when people bury weed suppressor membrane on an allotment. That really drives me mad. Stuart Jackson says, "Haven't you noticed that the lads have run out of guests? As soon as you're in the station, you can't leave until you sign up for the walk." Is that a running theme on the radio show now? You've got to get everybody in to sign up.
We've got to get something out of it, everybody, Richard. It's the way forward.
Digwell says his mate works in a hospital near you, Ben.
Wow, my allotments are right opposite the hospital.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Graham Bolton has joined. Hi, guys. I'm back. Hope everyone is well. Graham, slightly off topic here, but it's not, because Lee's suffering with plantar fasciitis. What do you recommend? And this is a person I was saying I know knows a bit about it.
Oh, Graham knows my pain. Yeah.
Graham, have you? Yeah, carpet and membrane is worse. Totally. I mean, why bury it? What is the point in burying it? That's what annoys me more than anything.
Well, in 1,000 years' time, it would decompose.
On my second plot, the new one, I was turning that over. I found very weird sort of plastic sheathing. I don't know what you'd use it for. Absolutely no idea. I started at the far end of the allotment. I literally started pulling it, and I went all the way down the allotment. Ended up finding the reel at the end. I'm guessing they'd used it to divide the plot up into sections, but just buried it over time.
Yeah, it's rubbish.
And then you've got to get rid of this stuff as well. So that's the major inconvenience for it, because no one else is going to take it away for you. I've literally got a bag full of plastic, membrane, carpet, underlay. Underlay's the worst. That stuff just crumbles as you start to pick it up.
Yeah. We had a few pictures in the group of people who've cleared a load of stuff, and it's literally a skip full of carpet. On that, the Kentish gardener says, "There's loads of carpet in my garden when I moved in. Unfortunately, no greenhouses found yet. There's still time. Keep looking. They might be there."
Keep digging.
Deeper.
Anything else? I've popped the link up if anybody does want to donate to this hike and get some more kids gardening. Tilly Kate says, "Lee, freeze a 500ml bottle of water and use the frozen bottle to roll your foot across for your plantar fasciitis."
Oh,
That's very nice. That is. It's quite soothing. That.
top tip. There you go. Thanks, Kate. I will do. I'll try it out.
Yeah. Now, something else we like to do on this show is look at some of the photos that have gone up in the group. This is going to be a bit of it should fit quite well. So let's have a look at what photos have been sent in this week. First of all, we've got the shipyard gardener. He's in camouflage and hiding amongst the bushes in preparation for this hike and the bushes we're going to have to walk through. Next, we have Scott, who has harvested some of the sweetest peas. They look delicious. That's a good lot of peas as well, isn't there?
Yeah, decent harvest.
Yeah, very impressive. There's a few courgettes and beans as well thrown in that, but it was mostly after the peas, as I understand it. Stuart has got his new garden mate, a hedgehog he's found in his garden. We always like hedgehogs on this show. Hedgehogs are really great in a garden because they're so good for pest control. Not necessarily slugs and snails, but other pests. I think they're fantastic in any garden. I know, Lee, you're quite fond of your hedgehogs as well.
Love a hedgehog. I love where I am right now. If I'm out here working late, which you know me, hard worker, always out here late. I always get the hedgehogs running around. They make such a noise.
Yeah, they are noisy animals. That and foxes with their knives.
You'll watch out for them.
Armed foxes.
Rebecca said earlier she's got a new allotment. Well, Digwell has gone and got himself a new allotment as well, just across from his original plot as well. So nice and local. Excellent start as well. And there's that membrane stuff they already have down there.
Horrible stuff.
Horrible. But it looks like it'd be easy to get out of that one, as we were just saying.
First mistake I ever made when I got an allotment was using that stuff. And now I'm in the process of getting rid of it.
Yeah, I agree.
With a strimmer. I'd never go near it with a strimmer.
Chili Kate has got the plot shot from the first of a month. It's looking absolutely fantastic as always. Every month we like to share photos of our plots from the first of a month, and I forgot to remind everyone last week about that. But Kate remembered nonetheless. Nathan, he heard on the podcast me talking about cherries and my cherry harvest. So he's gone and got himself a couple of cherry trees because they're his favourite fruit. He got them from his local nursery, Victoriana Nursery, which is a very well-known nursery. If you are ever in the Kent area, it's well worth popping in because they're a fantastic place to go and have a look at plants for. Now, last Sunday, of course, the football was on, but Chili Phil and Chili Kate was having a barbecue, and this is the picture they set us. I've got to admit, I really want a barbecue after seeing this. I had my first barbecue last night, and I want more. I love a barbecue. Now, if you do want to keep sending your photos, and we love seeing them, we love talking about them, please do post them in our Facebook group, send to me via social media, or email me, richard@theveggroundpodcast.co.uk. It's Richard on the veggroundpodcast.co.uk. Did you like those photos, guys?
No.
Very nice.
The peas were amazing.
Good. I thought they were brilliant. Well done, everyone.
Yeah, fantastic. Right, let's come back to this. Graham says, PM me about the plantar fasciitis. I will get it sorted, no problem at all. There you go, Lee.
It's going to chop your foot off.
Thank you. Sorry. Thanks so much.
Digwell says they kind of bark, talking about the foxes. It's a weird bark as well. When I grew up in the village I grew up, we used to hear them, and some people used to think it was women screaming. They've got such a high-pitched bark.
When the young are playing, they are particularly noisy all night long.
Yeah. Digwell says the membrane is only for the winter. Oh no, I've read that one. Sorry. Stuart says, back on the garden. What is the biggest mistake you made in the garden? Thanks.
Oh, good question.
Well, we'll ask Kerry first, that one. Mixing it up.
Oh my God, what? The biggest mistake?
Yeah.
Just, I don't know.
Just too many, Kerry.
Too many.
Not taking up golf instead.
Too many. My biggest mistake is thinking that I can grow radish when I can't.
Okay.
How about that?
Good enough. JJ?
When I did my garden, I used sleepers to build the actual levels because it was on 3 tiers, so I needed to build it up and get it nice. I didn't protect the inside of the sleepers. 7 years in, they are now starting to rot, unfortunately. So, yeah. Going to use them, make sure you line the insides.
Yeah. Ben, what's your biggest gardening mistake you made?
Well, recently thinking I'm going to get a whole Gardeners World show garden in my normal garden at home when it was near enough the same size. But we think we've done it. But yeah, that was a bit of poor planning on my part, to be fair. Yeah.
I should explain. Your garden was a plot amongst chickens. I featured on the podcast a few weeks ago. Had the only one that actually had live chickens running around. It was fantastic to see. Lee, what was your biggest mistake you made in the garden?
My biggest mistake actually was on my allotment. Actually, when I first got an allotment, so I had a rotavator and rotavated a load of couch grass into my allotment, and don't do that, because it just produces a lot more couch grass.
Yeah, that was the same as my mistake. I'll be honest. When I first stuck on my allotment, rotavated couch grass, never again. Never again.
Hey, Rich, I've got to go, man.
He was late and he's going early.
You right, Jamie? You want me for the barbecue? Oh, okay, mate. I've really got to go, mate. I'm sorry, Jamie's really. All right, mate. I'm coming. No, I have got to go. I'm really sorry. I'm going to leave you. Well, I was going to say leave you with the rest of the hike crew, but you are part of the hike crew now. So,
yeah. Well, it was nice to see you anyway, Lee.
See you, nice guys. The legend Lee Connolly here, signing off. I love you all. I can't wait for this. I honestly can't wait for this hike, and we're going to do some amazing stuff with it. I just looked on the fundraiser, and we're like already at 27%. So I think by September we'll be hitting it hard. Bye, viewers. Love you loads.
Bye.
Bye.
There we go. He is gone, so we can talk about him behind his back now. Right. Let's see. Idaho says they were great photos. Thank you, everyone, for sending them in. Please do keep sending your photos in. We absolutely love seeing them, and it's always a pleasure to look at them. Kate says husband did the 3 picks and says Ben Nevis isn't bad as Path is nice. It's just time it takes. So get loads of walking in, good walking books. Don't get obsessive about taking excessive amounts of kit. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Seed to table plot 13, which is Scott, who those peas we just saw. We have muntjac deer where I am, and they make a racket and love eating my crops.
Interestingly, on that, I've got a very urban plot, so it's literally just over the river in Worcester, in the other side of the river, the weird side, St John's, and it is properly in the middle of a housing estate. There's a school on the one side, housing estate, university, accommodation the other side. It's fully surrounded. A muntjac deer has made it its home. So it is eating everybody's gooseberries and raspberries at the moment. We've no idea how it got there. We think it's wandered up the railway tracks and decided, oh, look, some green stuff. I'll eat that. No, it won't go away.
I'll bet.
Yeah, see, I've never once in my life, and I can't believe this, I've never seen a muntjac deer. Never. And I've spent a lot of time outside. I've seen loads of other deers, never a muntjac.
You know what? I've never seen a hedgehog other than a flat one, unfortunately.
What?
Genuinely. I've got a badger set and a fox set down the bottom of the garden. Regularly see the badgers. If I go out the front of the house at 11 o'clock, there's badgers running up and down the street. It is fully urban around here as well. This is like, there's no wildlife area for them. I've no idea how they got here, but they are fully urban badgers and foxes, but never seen a hedgehog.
Oh, see, now I've never seen a badger, so
they're big.
They're like mini bears.
Dog-sized badgers, man. They're huge.
They're like mini bears with how aggressive they are as well.
And they're fast as well for the size of them, aren't they?
Proper fast. If one of them hit you, if you're walking down the street and that ran behind you, it would literally knock you off your feet, definitely.
So Stuart says, I'm glad it's not only me with the radish.
Yeah.
They're not as easy. They're not as easy as people like to think. The hardest thing I think it is just getting the water in right. Because they're not particularly thirsty, but if they dry out for just a second, that's when they bolt.
Yeah, they'll split or they'll bolt. If that watering is so critical with a radish, if you get them to split, they're normally rubbish because the slugs will move into them. Or the wood lice, as you say, and then if you get that really uneven water in, they bolt, and you can't really eat them because they're horrid.
No, it's fine. Digwell says that's why so many on my site are failing. They rotivate and rotivate and rotivate, then wonder why they have so many weeds, especially docks. Yeah. It's a mistake we all make, but we learn from it. And now
it's not just the rotivating; you're spreading your weeds. If you've not got your weeds out first and you rotivate, and the constant theme of rotivate, you are breaking down the permacultures in your soil as well. That's not going to help you with growing either.
Yeah, Yeah, they're sort of becoming less a thing that we use or see nowadays. Rotivate, they're becoming less common. But
See, my old man
back
does
in the
his
day-
every year, absolutely every year without fail. But he keeps on top of his weeds. It doesn't spread weeds through. But then he says to me, "Oh, this has not done very well this year, or this has not done very well this year." I'm like, well, maybe you need to be putting more organic material back in and leaving that soil to just rest. As the previous comment, being a fair weather gardener can sometimes do more good than bad. It's because you're leaving your soil to recover, and it's going to be healthy for you next year.
Yeah, totally. It's why farmers have a fallow year.
Yeah, absolutely.
There must be a fine for Lee going early. Yep, there will be.
There is.
Don't
It's
worry.
fine. As he comes back down Snowden, where we're going to have to park the cars, there's a rather large lake that I think Lee needs to go for a swim in,
That sounds like a good idea to me.
whether he wants to or not.
Stuart says he will donate after the show. Fantastic. I'm
Stu.
going to pop that link up again if anybody else does want to donate. Rob says, I think they should ban rotivators on allotments. Interesting point. I always take offence when somebody wants something banning because I believe in each to their own. But what does anybody else think on that?
I've never used one, like never, so that wouldn't bother me at all.
I think as more research and more information gets out there about not damaging your subsoil permacultures and things like that, I think people will see more of a benefit with not doing it. There's nothing wrong with digging, and people say, "Oh, you do no dig. That means you don't dig." Yes, you do dig. You still definitely dig when you've got a no dig allotment. I've got one as a no dig, and I've got one which I started as literally double digging. And I can tell you for a fact, I have a better yield from the no dig allotments, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, totally. I totally agree. Ben, what's your thoughts on that rotivator ban?
I've got 2 rotivators and I haven't used them for nearly 3 years. So
Got 2 rotivators for sale.
yeah, pretty much. They might need a service first.
Graham says, just eat the muntjac.
If we could catch it, seriously,
Yeah.
apparently, I've not seen it yet myself, but someone saw it in the middle of last week. As soon as they clocked eyes on the muntjac, it was gone and it jumped a fence, which is about 8 foot tall. Honestly, they are incredible little animals.
Yeah. I'd say I've never seen a muntjac, but I've seen the other types of deers, so I can imagine what they're like, and because they're much smaller than normal deers, aren't they?
Yeah, they are quite small actually. They're probably sort of a foot and a half tall. They're not very big at all. They're really cute actually. But yeah, they do like to munch through gooseberries.
Oh yeah.
And once they're finished on them, they'll eat everything else.
So Graham says, don't forget to hit the like button. I should have said this earlier to get the algorithms working. Please do hit that like button. Please do hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to follow, click the notifications so that you know when we go live. I do have to say that as well, because otherwise I get told off by both Facebook and YouTube for not saying it. Digwell says, I agree with Rob. They do more harm than good. Talking about rotivate. Was it rotivators? Yeah. Talking about the rotivators. I have to agree. I've got one like Ben. I sat in my shed for about 9 years. I don't know why I keep it there. I really don't. No dig is just a concept, not a religion. It's very true. Very true. Although some people do treat no dig like a religion sometimes.
Yeah, I find that the comments on sort of that topic can get very, very heated, especially on sort of Facebook groups for gardening. At the end of the day, it is each to their own. If you prefer to do it another way, do it another way. It's your personal preference, and by ranting and raving at somebody else, you're not going to change their mind. You're not going to change anybody's mind, really.
Yeah. Who here is actually no dig gardeners, included in the audience? I'm going to put my hand up and say I'm a no dig gardener. Anybody else?
Sort of half and half.
Yeah, half and half.
Like a little bit.
I've got a new plot, so I'm trying to dig that over to get rid of some of the weeds, which you can't really class yourself as a no dig gardener if you're digging things out the ground. But once I've done that I'm hoping that by using organic matter and controlling those weeds, I will officially be no dig.
Yeah. I mean, on that note,
I'm working on making more of my beds no dig.
Yeah. It's a lot of compost needed
But
to
I
go
like
fully
digging,
no-dig.
so it's a good stress reliever.
A lot of people
Yeah.
say that.
It is. You know what? I do love getting the fork out and having a proper good digging session. It is such a stress relieving thing, and you feel so good when you've done it as well because your progress just looks amazing. To be fair, Jess says to me when I've got it out, I'm doing the weeding, I'm digging through. So how on earth are you doing that? And it looks like you're enjoying it, and I'm like, I'm enjoying it. I'm covered in dirt and sweating, absolutely loving it.
So Digwell says, I've had to remove many a comment about me using a trail, talking about the Facebook groups and things like that. And luckily it doesn't go on in our Facebook group because we're all a friendly bunch in our lot. I don't even have to admin it. It's so easy.
Good.
Scott says, the parish council keep the empty plots clear on my side, but rotating them constantly. So they have had loads of couch grass to deal with when I took on the plot. I'd like to see parish councils taking or clearing them a bit more, getting pigs on them or something to clear the allotments when they're empty. Ballycillian says no. Oh, sorry. Carry on, JJ.
The bane of my life now is couch grass. It used to be bindweed, was my least favourite weed. Now it's couch grass because that stuff is just an absolute thug.
And as you get rid of it, it comes back within days.
You know what? I've kind of come to like mare's tail now. I know it's a pain, but it does no harm. You could just pull it out and walk away. Done.
Yeah, it's true. A mare's tail doesn't look unattractive or anything like that. Couch grass just swamps everything out. Ballycillian says no to ban, no method perfect. A new method to no dig will come out in the future. I don't doubt that. Actually, there's always different methods, and it's what works for each person as well.
There's been recorded instances where the Romans used a method which was very, very similar to what people are doing for no dig now. So it's not a new concept.
Yeah.
Just because it's been brought to the public attention does not mean it's brand new. So these things go on.
There's a theory that the Victorian gardeners started digging as a way to keep themselves employed during the winter months.
Possibly, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you don't have to take anything out. You can leave weeds in if you like. Things will grow, but you're just removing that competition. You don't have to do anything. You can just plant where you like. Yeah. Probably most allotment committees wouldn't appreciate it, but you know.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. You know what? I'm contemplating it. I've got a little patch on the new plot where I've cleared the top off. I've literally just topped it off. So the roots are still in there. The coochie's starting to come back through. But I've got nowhere to put my sweet corn. And I'm thinking, I might just stick it in there.
Yeah.
It uses that space for this year. I want to use it as a wildflower area and I want to bring it as a habitat area. But I'm thinking I've got an empty space there and I've got sweet corn that needs to get planted pretty quickly.
Chuck some beans in around it as well. Do the whole Three Sisters thing in one hit.
Seriously. I don't need any beans. I've already harvested 2 lots of French climbing beans. I'm going to be sick of them within the next week.
Lucky you, I've got no beans this year. They keep getting eaten by slugs and snails. Jenny says, I've been teaching my neighbours home garden about no dig, and it's great as they are interested from stepping away from old double dig methods. It works. If people can share it and it works, it's all well and good. Let's have a look. So Graham is, I'm fully no dig. Stuart Jackson is no dig at home and school. Ballycillian says, I'm half and half. Couldn't afford or make enough compost for no dig, which I totally agree with.
Yep.
It's a difficult thing to get enough compost. Diggrass says, no dig for me, and I will not dig out the weeds on the new one. Regular strimming for me. Good idea. I mean, it works. It does work.
Graham says, down, the weaker they're going to be. So
yeah. Graham says, I have to do no dig due to spine disabilities. Yeah. Again, that's another reason to go no dig, although humping loads of compost is just as hard work. Kate says, I have a new garden and it has lots of stones, so I'm planning to dig along that out and then be more no dig as time goes on. My raised bed is no dig. It's all what you have to do, isn't it? A volunteer does it excuse to use. Conversation going on there. I'm not sure what that's going on there. Jenny says, no dig. To be fair, I can't dig, so no dig completely works for me and makes it possible to make new beds. Fair comment. And Digwell says, no dig is not new, just Charles Dowding revived it. Jenny, mare's tail can be used to help prevent blight. I didn't know that. That's a
You can
new one
also,
on
I
me.
think you can also use it to make it like a cleaning scrub and stuff like that. There's a fair few uses for mare's tail. It's not
Yeah.
completely useless thing.
Yeah, it's quite coarse. So yeah. And Digger says soil, biomass is etc. is the only thing that matters when it comes to the garden. I agree. Now we have got to that point. It's a little bit low, but each week I like to the audience to set me a mission, and this week's mission was to make a quick bug hotel. So let's get to that video, and then I'm going to get these three guys to set me a challenge for next week. Well, it's time for this week's mission. And this week, well, it was set a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't get it done last week. And this week, we have managed to do it. We've made a very simple bug hotel, which was the mission. Now, we can make it very flamboyant, but I'm making this a very simple one that we could all do in a matter of minutes. I've taken a few garden canes, which I'm using because they're hollow, which is where insects like to live. I'm cutting each cane down to give us plenty of sticks about the same size. I try to get them as equal as possible, but nothing in nature is ever equal, so I think it is good to mix it up and have a few different sizes to replicate nature. Now, we have pretty much cut all our sticks, as you will see shortly. There's one of the long ones that I've just pointed out. I'm not too worried about the cracks in it, but we're just going to gather all these sticks together into a bundle, like so. And what we're then going to do is just tie all these sticks together in order to hold it all together. I'm using twine. Now, twine isn't going to be the longest lasting. It will rot. I like twine because it's biodegradable, but we could actually use some garden wire or something a bit more permanent if we so wished. These knots do need to be tight. I was an old Boy Scout, so tying knots is something I can easily do. And I'm sure there's many people out there who are good at tying knots. This is how easy it is to make a bug hotel. Then, once we have got it all tied together, all we have to do is take this somewhere to hang it up, and we wait for the bugs to come in. Now, we're looking for bees and things like that that are likely to live in this. Very simple, only takes a few minutes to make. In fact, this has taken less than 5 minutes. So go give it a go, let me know how you get on. There we go. That was this week's mission. Is that mission accomplished or not? Now, you three probably haven't seen this before, but basically I get the audience to set me a challenge or something that I can do as a garden challenge each week, and it's a bit of fun. So if you can come up with anything that I can do in the garden, I'm all ears. When you want to spot a bit, I know.
Drop us in here, why don't you?
Yeah, well, Digwell says find some decent happy music for the out of studio segments. It's the first time I've added music to it, and I was like, savage. I spend hours trying to find the right music, and it gets so annoying that I can't do it.
So annoying.
Yeah.
What challenges have you been doing other than the bug hotel?
So we've had the bug hotel. I've been challenged to eat seaweed. I've been challenged. Guys, I do this every week and I can't remember many of them. Somebody remind me some of the other challenges. So just the seaweed one sticks out, or find a bargain when we've been at certain shows or in a garden centre. What else have we done? Build a scarecrow.
Nice.
Things like that. Ballysoon says, challenge for next week, get Digwad to teach you a few knots. I know my knots.
Oh, we can do that for the hike.
We can do that for the hike.
Yeah.
What, learn knots?
Yeah. Or we could tie Bishop to a tree.
Someone can learn how to play a noose. He is here, by the way.
Is he? Oh, there he is. Look at him.
Had to bring him along.
He's looking well.
But no, he's been sort of hanging about a little bit. Well, I found him. These are our bearded growers. There are only 5 of these in existence. They are bespoke, made by somebody, handmade, and they are absolutely lovely. He's going in the prize draw.
So maybe then Richard needs to make a JJ.
Ooh.
Make a JJ. Okay. Okay, that sounds like a bit of a challenge.
Make your own garden gnome.
Yeah.
That's right. You could use a potato sack or something, couldn't you?
If we can say a potato, that's a bit harsh.
Chili Cake's come up with a suggestion of we have been talking about amazing British wildlife, and you said before that you have a trial camera. How about you show us some of the wildlife from your plot? I can do that as well. But this making a JJ sounds like a good idea too. Greg says, how about making a 1 meter square wildflower area as a challenge?
Oh, I like that.
And Jenny says, shopping for butternut squash, build a... Oh, these are some of the ones we've had to do in the past. Shopping for butternut squash, that was last week's, because it's almost impossible to find butternut squash plants at the moment. Build a squash, I don't remember that. Build a scarecrow and look for buyers at Gardeners World Live. That's some of the challenges we've done, yeah. Digrat says Christmas spuds. And Stuart Jackson says, great idea. Yes, Richard, make a JJ.
You've got no chance because pumpkins won't be ready yet.
Pumpkins won't be ready, but potatoes are.
You could put a small new potato on a pumpkin. You'd get, you're done, sorted.
So what we think? What do we think for the challenge?
I think you need to make a JJ.
JJ. JJ. Okay, we're going to make a JJ.
Wow.
God knows how I'm going to do it, but it's going to be a challenge for next.
I'm looking forward to this. Genuinely looking forward to this.
Yeah. So we are getting into the last 7 minutes of tonight's show. It's been great to see everybody as always. I'm just going to pop the link up once again for this donation link. He says if it comes up.
There is also another link we need to quickly share. So the schools. We haven't selected any schools to be the beneficiaries of our charity fundraising. We're asking schools to actually put themselves forward. There is a page on the School Garden Success website. If any interested schools want to register their interest in becoming a beneficiary, go onto the website. It has to be an application by the head, a teacher, or a TA of the school. So it can't be somebody just, that'll be nice. But if there's no one actually interested in running the project, then it's not going to do very well in that school. So if anybody wants to put their school forward, maybe have a chat. I know terms are coming to an end very, very soon. So it'd be nice to get a few more entries registered.
Didn't Lee say it needed to come from a school email address as well?
Yes, it needs to come from a school email address. It can't be a personal email address.
So where would anybody go to do that?
It's on the School Garden Success website. On
the School Garden Success website. There we go. So if anybody wants to nominate their own school, head to that and go give it a try as well. And the hope of, again, the reason behind this hike squad is to try and raise money to get these school success garden plans into several schools, not just one, several schools.
Yeah, the aim is 5, but we'd love to do more. Absolutely, we'd love to do more.
And so far, we've raised enough to do how many schools?
We've done 20. We've got 25% of our target, so we've definitely got one in, and we are well on the way to getting the second one in.
Fantastic. So I'll pop the link up once again in the comments. If anybody does want to go there and donate, don't forget to message to say you've donated so you can go in the competition and potentially win some very interesting prizes.
And if you're interested in no dig, you can potentially go to Charles Dowden's house and learn no dig with him in his garden.
On that note, it's run like a raffle, isn't it? So everybody who donates, they get a. It's not a raffle. I know it's not a raffle, but it's like a raffle.
Basically, as a thank you for you donating to us to get this going, we've pulled together all these prizes from companies that we know and we work with. We've all really tried hard to get as much as we possibly can. And as a small thank you, if you donate before the 29th of July, every pound you donate will be turned into a ticket in the raffle. So you donate a tenner, you get 10 tickets. It's not a raffle to give away. We have to say that because a raffle would need us to have gambling licenses, yada yada yada. So it is a giveaway, and it is a thank you for donations received. But it is very important, and unfortunately, it has to be UK mainland only residents due to postage restrictions. And please let us know if you have donated, so we can get in touch with you, give you your ticket numbers. It's either beardedgrowers@gmail.co.uk or at bearded.growers on Instagram.
Or message me and I'll pass your details on as well.
Or Ben, or Kerry, or Lee. Just get to one of us, and we'll find you somehow and get your tickets over.
Fantastic. Has anybody got any last questions? We're getting into the last few minutes of the show. I just realised I haven't checked over on Instagram much because we're fairly new on Instagram. So View from a Lake joined, the Kentish Gardener joined, Kirsty Ferris joined, and Growing Beside the Atlantic also joined over on Instagram. Welcome along, guys. Lovely to see you. Let's have a quick look at some of our... Oh, building cloches was one of the other challenges I was set. Bloody autocorrect again. We all know what happens. Stuart says 7 days to make JJ. Not sure a week is enough. I've got no idea how I'm going to do this, but I'll come up with something.
Get creative with toilet roll tubes.
Yeah. Scott says, my partner is a school teacher, so I'll pass it on. Please do. Stuart says, I will spread the word about the School Garden Success Plan via local school email. Fantastic. Excellent. Digwell says, the main rule for running a raffle is that the top 3 prizes must be drawn first so that every entrant has a fair chance.
The only way we can realistically do that is by the value of the prize. So probably going to be Charles Dowden's a chance to go and meet him at his garden and do his no-dig course. And then second prize is probably going to be, if anybody's heard of him, Thomas Radford. He's on Instagram at Eat the Country, an absolute brilliant forager. He also does walks, so you can go on a foraging walk with Thomas. He's offered up 2 tickets to a walk of your choice. Brilliant entertainment. You'll get very drunk as well.
Well, I was about to say something else, but Richard Golders just said, done a tenner. Good luck all. Thank you so much, Richard. That's really appreciated. Really fantastic. Kate also says it's been an absolutely amazing having you on the live today. Thank you. It has been amazing. But there was one prize that I thought, why didn't Lee include this prize? It's getting Jamie Oliver to do a cooking demonstration for us. It's Jamie's best mate. Why hasn't he done that?
I think he's reluctant to put his best mate status on the line. That's the problem.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Well, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on this week. We haven't came up with a subject for next week, but anybody got any ideas for a subject for next week that we can start this discussion off? We are into the last minute, so thank you 3 for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure. Just once again, run through how anybody can find you. JJ first.
Right, so at bearded.growers, we are more present on Instagram. That is where we are. We're also on Facebook, which is at Bearded Growers. We're on YouTube, which is at Bearded Growers. If you want to get in touch with us via email, it's beardedgrowers@gmail.co.uk.
And Ben?
Plot 27B Bristol over on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.
And Kerry?
Yeah, I just have Instagram. I don't have all of that. So just Lottie Time on Instagram.
Lottie Time. There we go. Right.
And if you're desperate for something to do on a Monday night, you can listen to us as well.
That's on the radio show on Cotswolds Radio, but also on the internet. You can hear it as
well.
We
are Cotswolds Radio, which is an internet station, so you can listen online on the app or via a smart device, or you can just watch us on Instagram.
Fantastic. Right, I'm going to remove you 3 from the chat while I close up. Thanks so much, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Pleasure, mate.
We'll look forward to doing this hike. Right, let's get them out of here. Thank you, guys. There we go. Right, what a fantastic chat with those guys. Certainly very different. I haven't come up with a subject for next week. The sow along that we're going to do next week is our lettuce that we've been sowing as part of our Premier Seeds Direct Seed of the Month. I haven't done it on this live show just yet. But if anybody's got a suggestion for a subject for next week, we're running a little bit into overtime. If anybody's got a suggestion, throw it up now so we can see what we can talk about next week. I'll quickly run through these comments. Jamie Oliver is to cooking what Herod was to babysitting. I don't know what to say about that. Hargrave guest, thanks for a great chat. Hope the fundraising goes well for a really important cause. Get more kids gardening. Absolutely. Stuart Jackson says, makes a lovely change to do this fundraiser show. Good luck, team. Thanks so much, Stuart. It was a lovely change, isn't it? It's always nice to have good, passionate people as well to talk to. Not that you guys aren't passionate, of course. I know you all are. Richard Golden says, my wife was taught by Jamie Oliver's granddad. Fantastic. I did not know that. It's a small world sometimes, isn't it? Graham says, thanks for the live. See you all next week. Thanks. Thank you, everyone. Rebecca says, maybe we could talk about starting a new plot and what you all did. Yes, that's going to be next week's subject. Starting a new plot and what we all did. Thanks so much. Rob says, great live again. Thanks all. And Jenny says, really enjoyed tonight's show. Thank you, Richard. See you all next week. That's right. We will see you all again next Sunday at 6, where we will do it all again. Thanks so much, guys. Take care. See you next time.